Stage 6 music assignment is a composition assignment where students create, record and reflect on writing a piece of music. It had an Australian music focus and all of the students had around 6 weeks to complete this assignment. It involved writing music, it involved listening and reflecting on other Australian music and then bringing those influences into your own song, recording that using a software program called BandLab, and also notating that in some form.
To start with, Rhiannon didn't really quite understand what was a composition, and so that was really helpful to have that feedback from Sam and me actually kind of digging into that and realising, we need to unpack that more for her, so that we got to expose her to looking at some other YouTube clips of different composers, Australian composers, and we did that around her love of musical theatre.
I wouldn't say I had necessarily concerns about Rhiannon doing the assignment. I knew that she would be capable of creating music. It was just about finding a strong pathway that really featured her strengths and built her weaknesses through that process. My advice for anyone who is assessing students is to look at the students and the assessment task. And what I do is, the assessment task is a goal, and the student, I look at their strengths and I go, okay, what can this student do really well? How can I relate the assessment tasks to those strengths and then support any areas of need that they have through that? And I do that for all students. It's not, I don't just pick students that need this. Some students can get the assessment task and go, and that's fantastic. And they're a high achieving student in that particular task. Other students need that support where you go, look, I think why don't we try this? Or why don't we try this? Until we find a pathway for them where they meet the benchmark, whatever that is.
The first assessment task required the kids to actually post who's their favourite Australian music artist. And I actually thought, we'll get to that. But then, lo and behold, Rhiannon sort of went on and actually, did put something up. And we could also see what her peers like to listen to. So we could then reflect on that, and I could actually introduce Rhiannon to some other new artists that I didn't even know existed, sort of thing. So it just really gave her another door into, what do, typical 17-year-old kids like to listen to, that, Rhiannon only has older siblings, so her genres, and music repertoire is, different. But so it gives her that age-appropriate kind of opportunity again.
Rhiannon worked closely with myself and also with her singing teacher, and she wrote a storyline, which was the song, based on experiences of her having friends and her weekends away from school.
But then she had her own idea no, she didn't want to write about that. And then eventually what she came up with was something more about the lyrics of something to do with friendship and relationships.
And then she brought that in, and we combined that with her sort of computer dexterity and know-how and her experimentation on BandLab. And to combine those two things, she ended up with a song.
The students used BandLab to create some of the music background to the composition. And Rhiannon had used BandLab before, so it's something that they've been using in music for a number of years. And so, yes, she would just get on and do things and create stuff, and I didn't even know where she was saving it. But that was really interesting to see that she has all these skills that she's acquiring in, the regular music class that is beyond me, and that's all, hats off to Sam, basically, as her teacher.
It wasn't all smooth sailing. There's always going to be bumps in the road depending on how each of us are feeling on any given day. But the end result was a fantastic assignment. We've had a lot of discussions about how Rhiannon feels about doing an assessment task that's a stage 6 level, that's got a certain kind of idealistic benchmark around it. And what I know is that Rhiannon is capable of submitting work that is absolutely alongside the work that her peers are submitting. So I have no hesitation in asking of her to do those tasks, but I do accept that it's a journey that Rhiannon and family have to take on, and it's something that I can only support with. So I'm really happy with how her progress is, and I will continue, I believe, as long as she's comfortable with it, to assess her at that level.